Come on now. All right. Hey, everybody. Sorry for the delay. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but I think we got them worked out. Again, that's the wonderful thing about doing a live. You know, you don't know what's going to happen. There's always these funny technical glitches, but then again, that's what's that's part of doing a live show. You got to try to figure out these things and work them out. So eventually we'll get it down perfect sooner or later. I just don't know exactly when. So, but again, thank you for joining me this evening on the show. I'm kind of blanking out a little bit because I'm trying to get my guest back on there. So we're having technical problems, and that's part of, like I said, what we're doing with the live show is you get all these kind of things that happen, and again, it's part of the learning process about doing something like this. And whenever you do these things, you kind of see, all the things that can happen. Just getting everything together is probably one of the hardest things to do in the first place. Is just because it's a lot of work, and when you try to get everything together, it's really, really hard. Because you're trying to work, get everything technically sound and those kind of things. But again, it's a live show. Again, you're not always sure that you're going to get it smoothly to go along. But again, this is supposed to be something that's fun, something you got that I'm, having a blast with. So, it's a learning process. I'm really trying hard to figure a lot of the technical things down because it seems like there's always a glitch or something going on. So, okay, good news. My guest is back. Awesome. Now we can ready to go. So just hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to, and thank you for joining me this evening on the show. Okay, before we start the show's guest, if you're watching live, go ahead, drop down in the comments that you're watching #Team Live, so I know that you're here. And those who watch you on the replay, go ahead and drop in the hashtag in the comments #Team Replay, so we'll know who we are, and then we can interact with your comments afterwards again. So, and then you can follow me on Twitter at GabeMyWordVomit.com. I know it's a terrible one, but that's one I picked a long time ago, and I'm sticking with it. And also on Instagram, you can follow me at _Gabriel_Leal. And we're doing a new thing with Instagram. We're actually going live on Instagram and just kind of doing the behind the scenes sort of thing, because you can't, with Instagram, you cannot stream live for some reason. And it's pretty funny that you can't, but if you're watching on Instagram, you're probably seeing the behind the scenes sort of thing. So you get a different view of what's going on. And, it's kind of a fun way to go ahead and instill everything going on with social media. So you get kind of everything of each little page. And then you can follow us on Facebook on the show page at Made From Scratch /Facebook. You go to Facebook there. You can follow me on Facebook at GabrielLeal.com. So we're also streaming live on my YouTube channel. Okay. So if you want to, you can actually find the link. You'll find links to past episodes, past guests that we've had on. So this is actually show number 10 for me. So it's starting to build a little bit now, and I'm really enjoying it. So do us a favor, if you go to Instagram, if you go to YouTube, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment. We would really appreciate it. We're trying to grow our viewership there as well as we do everything else. Plus, I would like to have and hear feedback. So again, that's pretty cool. And can't hear. Awesome. Well, let me see. Best part about. Make sure the mics are going through. Can you hear? Okay. Uh-oh. So let's see. Let's see if I'll go ahead and let me see if I can bring Tim on and work this out. I know it's a little bit of a mess, but Hey, can you hear us, Tim? You got the audio? Can you hear? Hold on, just a second. Okay, can you hear us now? You hear anything?
I hear nothing.
No audio at all? Oh wow. This is pretty fun. Let me check the mic again and make sure. So we are picking up on the mic. Maybe it's on his end. Let me see. Okay, got going on here. Okay. I don't know why it's not picking up audio. It should be feeding into the audio now because I am getting. Can you hear?
I can't hear you.
Huh?
I can't hear you talking.
You can't hear me at all?
I can hear like the noises. I can't hear him.
Okay, you can hear him, but you can't hear me?
I can't hear your playback.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, trying to figure this out. This is the fun part, people.
Make sure the settings on the back right.
Huh?
The settings on the back.
Yeah. So, let me see if I can. Let me check out something. Hold on just a second. So we're doing this live. Fun, isn't it? Let's see what I'm getting here. Oh, you can hear? Nice. Well, I'm on Instagram on there, so if you can hear, put that in. Okay. Sound. Hello. So if you're watching live, let me know if you can hear the audio. Maybe it's a communication on our part there, but if you can hear, leave a comment real quick. Let's see who's here. Oh, Carrie and Sue. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Aunt Sue. Hey, there you are. Can you hear me now? You hear anything?
Now.
Yeah, it's cutting in and out, right?
Oh, it sounds perfect right now.
Okay, cool. All right,
Yeah.
Maybe we got the audio back. Awesome. Okay, that's probably what it had to do is reboot it in. Awesome. Okay, well, cool. Technical fun, everybody. That's always what you get with the live show. It's part of what it is. Again, these kind of glitches happen, but again, if you're doing a podcast or you're doing something else, you probably edit all this out. But since we're just going to deal with it because it's part of what it is and it makes it fun. So at least you know that we're like everybody else. We kind of mess up and goof around, but that's what we're here to do is have a little fun. So real quick about my guest, guys, let me tell you about Timothy, okay? Timothy is a very interesting person. He does a lot of things. He's done a lot of things over his career. And one of the things that I want to highlight, because seems to be a theme, he's a Lancaster person. He came from L-Town. Is that correct? Did you graduate? Correct. See, and you're like the fifth person that I've had on that has come from Lancaster that has had some, has gone out and done things and been a little creative and gone out there and made a little name for themselves. So this is pretty awesome. And again, I said, just imagine from a small little town, I've had other writers. I also have a gentleman coming on next week. He's his kids they're singers. So, they're going out there making their thing, and he grew up in the same city as with, so that's how I kind of knew him. So again, a lot's coming around from the Smithville town, but you've done quite a lot. You're an artist, you're a poet, you're a writer, actor, comedian, photographer. You've done a whole litany of things, which is pretty impressive. And again, you've gone out there and you've kind of made a little thing for yourself going out there, and you do a blog, right? You started a blog, right? Where you were out interviewing like up and coming artists and stuff like that. So you kind of created, kind of like what I'm doing here. You created a platform so you could go out there and reach new people, new artists, and introduce people to new styles of music, and given a platform for people who are trying to make it in the music industry, because it's not always so easy. And I commend you for doing that because it takes a lot. Plus, you know, it's not an easy skill to learn how to interview somebody. You know, because most of the time, a lot of people are quiet, reserved. They don't know, kind of feel awkward, right? So you have to.
I've never been on the other end, so
yeah. So you know, you get where you have to kind of draw people out a little bit. You know, read their body language, read signs, what's going on whenever you're doing these type of interviews. So, and what's even better with you though is like, you know, these are people that are actually have been on stage and performed, and yet they still find it odd sometimes to sit down and actually do a one-on-one conversation interview with somebody because you know who their persona is on stage, right? It's meeting that person off stage and getting to interact with them. So those people that are comfortable being themselves, they don't have a hard time. It's the other people that don't. You know, on stage, that's my therapy. They go up there, they sing, they can do whatever they want. But, you know, once they're off stage, it's a little bit more awkward for them. But hey, let me start by appreciate you coming on with me this evening. Again, it was, we had a few technical glitches trying to work everything out. And then hopefully by show 15, 20, I might have it down packed. But, you know, it's getting there, and I appreciate it. So let me go ahead and start with a few questions that I had for you first. So, you know, when did you first realize that you actually wanted to become a writer? What made you? What kind of led you in that direction to say, you know, I find an interest in writing?
And you hit me with the hard questions first. You know what? No one's ever asked me that. So when? Let me think. When? Oh, and I use my hands when I talk, so let's make sure these hands are in the camera.
Hey, I do the same thing. I think animation, getting your body language across and doing certain things kind of just goes along with the conversation because it is like we're having a conversation face to face. So I would use the same way that I'm talking to you as I would to somebody, you know, sitting next to me. So I appreciate that. I kind of like that.
No problem.
Yeah, I think it might be his headphones. It's muted. Hold on, it's muted. Oh, what happened?
It's okay. It's only 3 viewers. Calm down.
Well, that's the fun part, everybody. I lost my connection with my guest. This has been one of the best episodes ever for me because then I'm getting faced with all the challenges of trying to continue on. Well, I guess since I got you here, let's see if you got them. Okay.
Right. No, see, the thing is, these answers are so top secret that no one wants you to know. That's why I just glitched out like that. Yeah.
There you go. That's what it is, right?
That's all it is.
You had to think about it, right? You said, "Hold on, let me." Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but my thing is, I know I'm young. I'm 26, but I think everyone starts to think about their mortality and their legacy. And my thing is, when I'm not here, I need something to be here. Other than kids, I have no kids, by the way. But I need something here when I'm not here. So I'm like, let me write a book. And I'm really big on self-help. So I'm like, I can just write a self-help book.
That's pretty awesome because that kind of aligns with the way I started feeling when I got into writing as well. You know, I wanted to leave something behind. It was a legacy, sort of something that was tangible that would stay here beyond me, because I know that once the grains in my hourglass have gone a little bit faster than yours because I'm 45, so I'm a little bit older. But again, you're never promised tomorrow, right? So right. You take each day and you make the best of it. And doing those kind of things, I kind of like that you're doing a self-help book because I'm actually focusing on one myself, which is why I was like, when you said that when we were talking, I was like, oh man, that's pretty awesome. He's doing a self-help book because I think everybody's approach. There's no one good way
Right.
to approaching, the way you want to change yourself and everything, I guess. So I can think that's why other people go certain ways. People will go change. They might find it through health. They might find it through spirituality. So there's always different avenues for people to take whenever they're talking about changing and making their lives better, but again, it just always starts with, and it doesn't matter what system it is, it always starts with the first step, taking that first step. So laying it out and giving somebody a plan, that's pretty cool. So I really like that you're doing that. So what kind of avenue would you be following along if writing a self-help book? So what was some of the things you would be touching upon that would help? Just general ideas, because mine is all about change. So that's what the priority is for mine. I kind of lay it out, but I don't go too detailed. But I do lay out a few principles. So how would you approach that when you're talking about writing your book?
Well, my focus is definitely about mental health, because my degree is in psychology, and it's specifically about dealing with heartbreak. But reading all these other books, everyone claims to have the answer. They're like, this is what you should do. You should do this, do this, do this, and do that. And everyone's answer is different. My answer is what not to do, because oftentimes we learn what to do through trial and error and mistakes. So I'm listing all my mistakes so that you don't go down that same road. And then, of course, there's psychology tidbits about why X, Y, and Z is not good for you and why other options are better. Yeah.
So that's a pretty interesting way to go to look about it as well, because you're 26 and I'm 45, but a lot of what you're saying is aligning with what I'm doing now, because I'm actually doing this week. Actually, I'm starting a podcast about mental health on a whole nother level, right? So again, there's so many issues to talk about when you're talking about mental health. You're talking about anxiety, depression, stress. PTSD is now the thing. There's also ways to develop a well-maintained mental health plan, a wellness plan. Because you take care of your body, right? Your health and that thing. But your brain is what controls everything. So why would you not want to at least try to do things that help you grow and develop your mind a little bit more? There's, again, those are things, they give you like activities and stuff to do as well. Like somebody that might have like dementia or Alzheimer's, they tell you try certain things to help you stay cognitive the way you think and the way your mind works. Right. And like I said, mental health is a really big issue. And then you see it come to the forefront a lot when people see, the bad things about it, like on the news. You see shootings and everything else. And that's the first thing they want to jump to is, well, he was this, or that person was that, And I think it gives it a bad stigma. And I really don't think it's really that way. And, you having a degree in psychology, that's, you see a lot, you hear a lot, you talk to people, and the way that you hear someone talking about something, you know how to listen for signs and triggers and stuff. Not everybody does. So, somebody might say, oh yeah, he sounds fine. Somebody with a trained ear, say like yours, you go, no, he's not fine. Something's wrong. Let me ask him. Reach out, which is pretty cool. I like that I like that you're heading down that avenue, because I think it's very important. And again, whenever you get that book out, guess what? I'll hopefully have this forum in a little bit better shape. I would love to have you on again and come on and talk about it, because, when you write a book as an author, and you're putting something out there that's real, that comes from an idea that you write down, it turns into your vision and becomes a tangible object. And I always like that when I meet new people, when I meet people that are authors, and I say, hey, that's a big accomplishment that you went out there and wrote a book. It's not everybody does it. Some people even sound astounded when I say I'm writing one now, and they're like, wow, you're writing a book? Yeah. why not? You can, everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has value. Everybody has value. So, gosh, I hate that I ramble on. I hate that I ramble on, but okay, let me get back to you because this is about you. All right. I also found interest that you do poetry, which is pretty cool. I actually saw a video of you doing a poetry read on stage. Gosh, I can't remember. I wrote it down and now I can't even remember it. I was trying to remember it, but it's I said that's nice because that's something I want to do myself. I have a little bit of fear of public speaking. It's funny that I'm doing this right here. There's a little something about actually being on a stage because even here, I'm got a camera in front of me and I can tell my head that, hey, I'm just talking to a camera, right? But when you're in front of a live crowd, that's a little for me. That's a little bit different. So, tell me a little about your poetry. What kind of poetry do you do? Do you write? I mean, what is it that you like to be creative about?
All right, big question. Big question, big answer coming too. Believe it or not, my poetry is kind of like a form of journaling, but typically when you hear journaling, it's a crazy stigma. You think, okay, only women journal or mostly women journal. And if you journal, then it's a diary. So
why is this going on? Why is this happening? Woo! All right. Hey, Russ, I see that you're watching on Instagram. I don't know if you've ever been through this, but I'm sure having a lot of technical difficulties, but it's fun, all right? Again, it's the fun part about doing a live stream. This is why I kind of challenge myself. And I don't you had to think about it again?
No, it's these. I'm telling you, it's these secret answers. No one wants you to know. That's why it just happens like this. Classified stuff here.
Yeah.
Classified.
So that's pretty cool, though. I love the
fact. Just let me know what I picked up, though.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. That again, I'm actually kind of nervous right now because I'm doing the Instagram thing, right? And I'm doing the behind the scenes, and God, the guy that I kind of call my mentor, he's watching right now, so it's kind of freaking me out a little bit. But again, that's part of the fun, though. So I'm sorry. Go ahead and tell me about what your kind of like what your poetry is, because it's a little bit different to do poetry than writing, say, a book or screenplay. I've tried my hand at screenwriting. I'm not good at it. But I've tried it. So they're all kind of different forms, right? Poetry is another one that I don't have a really good grasp on, even though I do love listening to it. I love hearing people share their stories, because then you can hear the realness, the pain, the sorrow, the happiness, whatever it is, you can hear it come across in their words. So tell me a little bit more about your poetry.
Okay, I'll tell you everything, but tell me, what's the last thing you heard, or did you hear anything?
I heard, the last thing I heard was, I'm about to, and then it cut off.
No, I went on for so long. Okay, so we're gonna restart.
Okay.
So when most people think about journaling, the stigma behind journaling is that it's mainly for women, or only for women, because people who write in journals, it gets characterized as diaries. So believe it or not, I have a poetry book, if you want to call it that. The thing is, it actually is a journal. It just happens to rhyme. I purposely did it that way, because when people see it or read it, they're like, "Oh my God, you have a book of lyrics!" Or, "Are you rapping? Like, what is this?" But, no, really, in all honesty, it's a journal. I just made it rhyme so that it seems cooler. But it's all real. It's all about certain experiences. And I'd hate to say this, but like the way I write, I actually haven't written in a minute, but like I've been getting back to it as far as poetry. And the reason I stopped is because I found myself being the Drake rider, meaning like it was all sappy. It was either all lovey-dovey or it was all hurt, like strong emotions. I could never just write when I was content. Like right now I'm content. So I probably couldn't write, but I'm trying. In order for me to write, it's got to be like, oh man, this girl's gone, or this heartbreak, or oh, this girl's great, or I really like this girl. She's really dope. So my poetry is very Drake like. It's sappy or it's hurt. It's one of the two.
Right?
Yeah, and honestly, the one that you heard, it was sappy. It was called Friday Night. It was, and when I was reciting it, there was a girl there that it was kind of too. So that's what kind of gave me the nerve to go up there, because I honestly don't like public speaking either, but people just can't tell.
And I really couldn't tell either. When I was watching, I was like, man, he seems natural up there. And again, because I feel awkward when I stand on a stage. Again, it's just getting past the fact that there's people watching you right there. So the instant feedback, you can see faces, you can see expressions, you can see all those things. So you're like, God, I don't want to bomb. I don't want to, again, because here I can justify it because I say, well, here it is, a camera, but I'm fine. It's just being there live. It's what really kind of freaks me out. But, it's part of my journey to actually, so for those of you who don't know, I have my daughter. She's she's kind of like my, there he goes. Anyway, she's my technical director. So kind of get her, I don't think it's, I'm having a bad connection. I don't know why it's happening that way, but, I do apologize to him.
It's fine.
But, again, like I was saying, just getting past the writing part and talking in front of people, that's the only thing that I really have a hard time doing. But other than that, I mean, my whole theme for the year has been to challenge myself, go out there and do things that I haven't done. So I'm putting a lot on my plate on purpose because it's forcing me to have to do the things that I would just procrastinate about, that I would put back and go, oh man, I'll just do it tomorrow. Well, by doing this here, there is no, I can just do it tomorrow. So if I set up guests and I line people up, I'm forcing myself to get in the habit of going out there and say, hey, I got to go do this. I want to go do this. I need to do this. And, it keeps me on my toes. It keeps me thinking creatively. It keeps me wanting to learn how to try different things, new things, because you never know what's going to be the one thing that works out. So, like what you were doing when you were interviewing artists, that's, that's kind of something I want to try to do myself as well. It's it's a little bit different than just, talking to somebody on the phone. You actually got to sit there and you want to be engaging. You want to be interactive in these kind of conversations. So you want to draw everybody out whenever you're talking and trying to get answers from them. And, again, I read a few of your interviews and everything, and I was pretty impressed because you can't just, it's hard to just ask somebody a question and get a good answer out of them sometimes.
Right.
And, because sometimes they'll default to the regular yeah or nah, or, that's not gonna get my objective of trying to get out a good answer for the question that I'm asking. So, also because it has to go a lot into the preparatory work of what you're doing, about how you lay out the questions, what you want to ask somebody. So, let me go to another question. Okay. Let me ask, what kind of, what makes you so unique? What is the one thing? So I ask everybody, everybody's got their sort of style, their sort of, so what makes you, Timothy Miner, unique?
Oh man, hit me with another one of those hard questions. One of the questions that you just never hear. What makes you unique? I don't want to give you the answer. Like, I don't know. And maybe that is the answer. Because I want to say it like, I don't know. I'm humble. Like, honestly, people are like, oh, you're so awesome. You do this, and this. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't do enough. Or like some people, they'll choose like one thing, like they sing, and that's it. And then they hone in on that, and that's just their craft. But like I do poetry, I write, I sing. Like I do a lot of stuff, but I can't dance. That's the one thing I can't do.
So there is a limitation.
I can't dance. Well, I can dance, just not well.
Not good.
Yeah, but like some people will say that they are a jack of all trades as if it's a good thing. And I'm a jack of all trades, and I'm just like, maybe it's not such a good thing. Like I want to find my one thing. And some people would say it's art because they've seen my portraits, but I'm like, no, that's not good.
I have I have no skill when it comes to drawing pictures or anything. So when I see somebody like you who draws like that, and you're like, oh, I'm not good at it, and I go, oh my God, are you kidding me? Because I could never try to get something on because my mind just doesn't work that way. Now, give me a paper. There it goes. So, but again, it goes back to what you want to do as a person. And yeah, there it goes. I'm sorry. So again, it goes back. That's fine. So again, it goes back to, just wanting to concentrate on one thing. Give me a pen and a paper and I can write. That's one thing that I'm confident I can do. That is one forte that I've been practicing on for since I was like 11, 12 years old, that I knew I could write. I just never thought I could pursue a career in it. I never did. The same reasons a lot of people don't go out and do that. The fear, the rejection, all that stuff, I let it get in the way. But when you learn how to get past all that, then you start realizing, that your talent, you can use your talent to start creating other things. So if there's one thing you say out of all the things that you do, what is the one thing you just want to concentrate on then? What's the one thing that you want to work on that you say, I do all these other things, but this is the one thing that I do well?
The one thing, like if I just absolutely had to choose, I would choose writing. Like I really want to write books. Because I'm working on this one book, but I'm not just working on one book. I'm working on like 5 books. That's why I'm not getting done. I'm working on 5, and then I procrastinate a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. Like the one that I really want to get done by August, I haven't touched for almost a year, and I'm like, no, I have to get back on this. I have to. So writing,
yeah, and again, with writing, you get that little. You get that little area that you hit where you get some people call it writer's block. Mm-hmm. I think if when you get writer's block, if you're a writer, put that whatever you're writing on for that moment, put it away and go start on something else. Because every writer that I know, they have 10 ideas working all at the same time. Like you're saying, I'm talking about writing 5 books, and I'm pretty sure you have 5 books somewhere laid out in your mind where you want to go. So I've kind of done it myself a little bit because I have 3 books that I'm actually working on this year. Same sort of goal. One of them I actually, it's done. I mean, literally it's done. I'm just trying to get it to an editor and I want to get it published. So that one is one that I know that I actually wrote the end on complete. And, so I'm working on the other 2, right? But even between then, I start sitting down to write and I start getting into my mind, and then another idea comes and you start jumping on that one, right? And you write it down. You got to start, because inspiration comes anytime, any moment. I always carry a pen and pad with me no matter what. And because I never know when that idea is just going to come, I got to start doing this and write it down. So I'm like you. I get scatterbrained,
Mm.
and I've been taking a few. I've been taking a few online workshops to try to help me funnel that focus into a little bit more of a more concise stream. So it's kind of helping me out by doing that. Because I was like, again, I was the worst scatterbrain. I would get so frustrated because I didn't know what I wanted to write about.
Right.
That's, if that makes sense. I would sit down, and because at one time I was doing like you, I had a blog that I was posting every day, and it was just small little posts. But then I finished there, and I start writing on my book, and then I'd start, coming ideas with another post, and I would start writing that one for the next day. And again, I've been trying to practice on working on one task, and oh yeah. So, it's just trying to get focused. What?
It's gotten really hot.
Oh, that's okay. It's fine. It's probably, let me see. No, it's not that hot. It's fine. It's just a thing. But again, it's been pretty interesting trying to get everything focused and just working on one thing. It's hard. It's a struggle because I can't, again, I'm trying to do this and going back and becoming a writer and taking on this project. But again, I'm throwing myself into this because I have to, or else I'm not going to accomplish anything. I'm not going to get everything done because I've had these book ideas in my mind for years. I'm talking about 5, 6, 7 years in my mind, and I've never really put all of it together, which has been part of what has frustrated me for a long time. So at the beginning of this year, that was my theme: challenges, challenge myself in everything. So again, this is a thing that I tell everybody, and even now, right? We're talking here on live video, and I tell everybody, you ought to try this. This is a wonderful tool to do. So, if you wanted to jump back on that horse and you wanted to go out there and start interviewing musical acts again, I don't know if that's something that still interests you anymore, but if you did, man, I would love to help you try to get all that together, because this is actually pretty fun. And I get, you get the mistakes, you get the things, but again, that's part of why you do something live, because you can put on that, everybody can put on that, that false mask, and they do like they do on social media. They always take the selfies where they're always at the cool parties, and they always show the wonderful life, but they never show what's going on in the background, what's really happening. So, I like to be vulnerable. I like to put my flaws out there, because that there's nothing left to put me down with. There's nothing else to say, oh, I'll judge him. Oh, judge me on it. Fine, I don't care. I am what I am. I am who I am. So, to kind of go back to what we're talking about being unique. Well, that's the thing about me. That's what makes me unique. I just want to be that kind of person. So, one more question that I had for you, and it's because I call people creative souls. So people who go out there and will do things for their craft, or go do some things that they love to do. They express their creativity. So whenever you approach a project, whatever it is, whether it's writing your book, writing a poem, doing an interview, what is the process that you go through to express yourself creatively, to, come across that's who you are as a person, your creative expression, releasing your soul out to the world?
Hard question again, but I have the answer to this one. I do have the answer to this one. So for me, and it's not even just with my art, it's just in general, it just applies to how I am with my friends, how I am in my relationships, how I am with my writing, the poetry, everything. Like for me, it's just all about vulnerability because people are so guarded now. They have all these walls up, they wear all these masks. You don't really know who they are, especially with social media. They can portray themselves as this person, but really they're this person. So for me, it's just all about transparency and 100% vulnerability. I think when you're authentically yourself, people can hear that, they can see that, and they can feel that, and it just translates, across all spectrums that you're genuine.
Yeah, and again, that's where, if you are who you are and you go out there and you present that to everybody, then there's nothing to hide. There's nothing to say, well, this is who he really is. Because you get those people that say, well, I know him in real life. He's not even like that. He's somebody else. That's a front he portrays. If somebody were to meet me, take, gosh, whenever you talk to somebody and you do these type of things, it's pretty interesting because, again, you're just who you are. So there is nothing to hide. There is nothing else. It's the person that you see here on camera. When you meet me on or offline or in person, I'm 100% who I am. So I don't change that fact for the camera, for social media, for anything. I am who I am. And even if all this goes away, all this tomorrow, all the social, whatever happens, I'm still just going to be who I am. I'm just going to be myself. And that's the best thing I can be. And that's what I tell people, just be your best self, man. That's it. As simple as it sounds, some people have a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
It's always the simple things like that people just cannot grasp that it's that easy to go out and do. If you tell somebody, go live your life, go out there and explore life. A lot of people, the first thing they're going to do is give you an excuse why they can't. I got bills, or, I got, there's ways around it, my friend. It's again, that goes back to being a creative person. You find the avenues when there's something you want.
Right.
So something you really want, you'll find a way to get it done. It just always happens that way. So, Tim, I really do appreciate you coming on the show today. Man, I really do apologize for some of the things that we got going on. This is not usually happens, but again, keep working on that book, my friend. I really would like to read it. And you do have a degree in psychology, so I would like, maybe we can meet up, and I would like to have you on my podcast. So,
definitely.
Because my podcast, I strictly just talk about mental health issues. So, it goes back to anything having to do with the cognitive brain. So it's kind of interesting. I have a co-host, and me and her, that's the thing that we are pretty passionate about. It's just going out there and spreading the message and trying to get people to learn more about their mental health and go find them resources and connect with people. Because again, you find yourself in a state of isolation, then, nothing good can come of it because you're only inside your head. And that's going to be your worst enemy at that point, because, that's, you got to have that person to talk to open yourself up to. Keep it all bottled inside, and it's crazy. So again, I appreciate you hopping on. And, guys, if you would do me a big favor, go to Tim's website. You can check him out. It is at limeligaz.com. That's his website there. You can also check out his writing. You can also go to www.wattpad.com/Tim Miner. You can check out some of his previous works, which that's what I try to do when I go have any author or writer, anything. I try to go read a lot of their stuff. So again, you're a pretty intriguing writer. I do like your writing style. So I do hope you go out there and you push that book and to see what else you create, because I don't critique writers, but I do tell them I do love and enjoy their work when I do. So you have some pretty interesting stories, and You know, that came from, that's incredible. That's why I call it my show's made from scratch, because it started out with an idea and you wrote it down and you put it into story and you put it out there and you shared it to the world. And it's out there now for everybody to read. So I'm trying to get everybody to go read it. I'm trying to get everybody to follow you somewhere. Again, he's real big too you can follow him on Instagram, his Instagram page. If you want to, it is at Wilson_Russels on Instagram, or you can follow him on Facebook. He's on Facebook as well. His Twitter's account is at Tim Miner Jr. or Timothy. I'm sorry, it's Timothy Miner Jr. on Twitter, right? And it's on Facebook. That's Tim Miner Jr. You know, give him a follow. You know, check him out. Check out his works. Check out his poetry. He's a very interesting dude. And I didn't even get to touch on your music stuff that you're out there putting, which.
Yeah.
But there'll always be another day for that. So. And again, everybody, real quick, go ahead and put the thing. New thing that I've been doing lately is just I'm picking a cause, and I'm trying to sponsor it out there once a week. So this week it's been the Red Cross. So it's visit redcross.org, or you can call 1-800-RED Cross, or you can text the word Red Cross to 9099 and make a $10 donation. It'll help people whose lives have been uprooted by tragedy and stuff like tornadoes, fires, explosions, all those kind of things. They go out there and they do really good work. And if you guys have any suggestions for any other notable things that you would like me to sponsor or highlight, just shoot them to me on the page and we will definitely visit it. So again, my guest for the night has been Timothy Miner Jr. And I do appreciate coming on. Because it's been challenging, and that's the fun thing. It's been challenging, and that's what this year has been about. Has been about challenges. So you have a good evening, my friend. I appreciate you hopping on. And check out the show notes. I'm going to put all the links to all his websites in there and all his social media. Also, you can go back and you can download or you can go back and watch the replay on YouTube, or if you wanted to, we have our podcast out there available. It's on Anchor, FM.com. If you wanted to go check it out, we're also on Spotify, Breaker, Google Cast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and then we will also be on Apple Podcasts pretty soon. So we're trying to get all our bases covered and get everybody out there. Again, sorry about that, Tim, but I appreciate you coming on, man. It's been a wonderful night. Thank you, everybody. This is a new thing, too, that we've been doing. We're actually getting on Instagram, so you can see the behind-the-scenes sort of thing that's going on. So it's kind of crazy. But, again, I appreciate everybody. You have a good night. We'll talk to you tomorrow. My guest tomorrow will be Eric Renteria. He is a fashion designer. He's worked with such celebrities as Donald Glover, and I think he's working with Twitch from The Ellen Show right now. So kind of interesting what he's doing as well in fashion. So appreciate everybody. Y'all have a good night. I'll talk to you again soon. Peace out.